right, welcome back to Unheard Journeys. I'm Mike DePalma, alongside my buddy here, Mike Bloomfield, coming to you from Staten Island. We got a very, very good guest today. Good, close buddy of mine. Full disclosure, I've known Jason for a long time, but he's got a pretty interesting story to how he got into this seat. So, Jason Pryce, welcome. Tell us a little bit about where you're from right now, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
Thank you. Jason Pryce. I'm from Norwalk, Connecticut. I'm out here in Staten Island. First time in Staten Island, only borough that
I was going to say, just check out.
Is it the only borough you've never been to?
Only borough, yeah. I didn't even know you had to go through Jersey to get here.
He doesn't like Italians, Mike. Yeah. He goes, we got to go over the bridge.
What's going on
George
here?
Washington.
Where is the Staten Island place you speak of?
Like the island of Staten?
So
Wu-Tang?
you drove, yeah, Shaolin.
Hey, Shaolin.
So you drove through from the bridge to here about 6 minutes. What's your thought on Staten Island? A little different than the other boroughs, right?
Yeah. I'm like backyards and
It reminds me of
No
Norwalk,
weather.
where we grew up.
Yeah,
It honestly it looks just like it.
And then we haven't fed you yet, but we do have some Staten Island pizza on the way for after we end this. So let's hurry this up so we can eat.
And the thing is that when people say that they're from Connecticut, nobody realizes that we have like a really, really good pizza.
New Haven, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, I have confidence in you, right? That it's going to be good pizza. But
But are you saying right now? I think that your pizza is
not
going to
even
be
close,
better
Mike.
than our pizza.
Connecticut pizza's not even close.
I don't want to say
But
that.
you think it's better?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my friend Vinny is on his way here right now, and I want you to say that again.
I'm not saying it to anybody named Vinny. All right? In Staten Island.
Well, look, I actually have never had New Haven pizza, but
Okay.
my daughter has a dance competition in March
Okay.
in Connecticut. So we are actually planning to go out to New Haven because we're only going to be like 8 minutes away.
Okay.
So that we've already planned. Because you've told me when you watch One Bite Barstool,
Yeah.
he raves about it. So I'm excited for it. But I think you're going to enjoy what I have coming today.
Okay. And I'll meet you out there when you come in March.
There you go.
I won't eat with you. I just want to stare at you as you eat.
Yeah.
And then I'll know.
It's a little odd. I can just
Hey.
go on Facebook Live if you like, save you the trip.
It's my thing. Let's keep going on.
So tell us, what's your title today at Kaseya?
I am a senior channel development manager at Kaseya. So I'm part of the channel enablement organization. Some look at it as business development, but that's what I'm currently doing.
So we interviewed previously Frank Tessalano, who was employee number 250.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you came as part of an merger acquisition. Do you know what employee number you were? They're at 5,000 now. Did they grow after you, or was that already that size?
So when I initially came into Datto, which was acquired by Kaseya, I was employee. I think it was like 19 or something in that range. Currently, I'm not quite sure where I sit in the broader 5,000 person organization. I would guess that I'm still top quartile.
I consider you top.
Thank you.
So how did you get started? Where did your journey begin?
I guess my journey. So first and foremost, I've only had 4 jobs. So unlike Frank had like 13 different jobs, and then they got acquired. So you double that, that's 26. I've had 4 jobs in my life.
His was the resume you get. You're like, this guy job hops. Get him out of here.
Yeah, so my first job was TJ Maxx. Did that throughout high school. Went from TJ Maxx, upgraded to Circuit City. Did that.
Hey, at least TJ Maxx is still around. Circus City.
I'm still a Maxinista.
My mother-in-law works for Home Goods, right? That's part of the TJ Maxx brand, right?
That's right. I always get my Tommy Hilfiger and Nautica shirts because they were like half off because they'd be a little crooked.
They had the stick was a little off, but it's all right.
Yeah. So then I went to Circuit City. From Circuit City, I did that for like 3 or 4 years, and then I went to Best Buy while I was in college. I think I did it for like my last 2 years of college. And when I graduated college, I thought that I would just jump into this like big corporation and be the guy, and like everybody's like recruiting me, and I'm the most popular guy ever, and that didn't happen at all. So for the next 10 years after graduating college, I was working at Best Buy and moving up through that organization, and to the point where I became the chief deputy. I forgot what, head deputy or head geek or something like that for Geek Squad.
Okay.
And I was in that position maybe for 2, maybe 3 years, and something started to happen. I started to lose a lot of employees, not because I was bad a manager or
A little
because
bit.
they hated
Bit of
working for
both.
me. It was a little bit of that. But Datto came around, and with Datto, they started recruiting all my people, like everybody. Like even a former employee had left, went there, worked his way up, became VP, and came and doubled down and took the rest of the people. So I was at a situation where like I needed to find more people, or I need to go to Datto as well. So I went to Datto as well, and I interviewed with the person who used to work for me. He was like, "Yo, Jay, you're great as a manager. We want to make you a manager, but I can't bring you in as a manager, right? You have to come in, learn the ropes, understand what we do, and then 6 months a year, I want to make you a manager." I'm like,
You're like, you worked for me.
I know. Hard to get over that.
It was hard, but it was one of those things where it was just like, it's the next chapter of my life, right? Geek Squad, Best Buy were awesome. They, allowed me to purchase my first home. I made decent money, but Christmas time I was working, 12-hour shifts. I didn't get to enjoy the holidays anymore. If you asked for a weekend off, it was like, how dare you? You do know you work in retail. Right?
Yeah.
And so it was all these things that were coming to a head.
Black Friday when
Black
people
Friday.
were running through the doors and killing each other.
Yeah, but when Black Friday turned into Black Thursday and Black Wednesday, that's when it got even crazier, right? Where like we had to eat our Thanksgiving meal
So
earlier.
you could get to work.
Yeah, just to get to work. And so, there's all these different things. And so it was just time for me to go. So it was easy to be like, okay, though you used to work for me, I work for you. We're even,
I was always nice to you. Remember that.
So when you first made that jump, you were kind of taking a step back
in
terms of title and all that.
Absolutely.
So was it, now you saw the vision, you mentioned like, when you thought you were going to come out and be in a corporate role and all that, now you see this startup, which was doing well, but startup.
Yeah.
Was it more like, all right, I see this vision where I have more upward mobility, or was it just I need to change?
It was both.
Yeah.
It was I need more upward mobility, but I just got to get out of the retail. I just have to do it. I had another job offer on the table, but it sounds stupid now. But people were like, "Yo, we have free lunch Fridays. We have free slushy machines in the office. We have a game room." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I want to go there." And so I did. And as you can see, I'm about 60 pounds heavier than I was the day that I walked into the building. And but funny is it may seem that was one of the driving things to say, "Oh, this place seems like a cool place to work." Yeah, great
Culture is
culture.
important.
Absolutely. And we mentioned like, was it humbling having to work for somebody who used to work for me? Sort of, but not really. The humbling part was all the other employees that were there that used to work for
Like
me.
now vice president.
Yeah, and like there's like 13 other people that I used to tell when they can go home. Or they used to call out to me, right?
Is that Geek Squad still open? Sounds like all the employees left.
Well, they banned that VP from coming into that store. He could no longer
come in.
Yeah, he couldn't even come to the store.
He was poaching all the employees. They banned him.
But I think the thing that didn't go as planned is that VP, he ended up having to take a step down and go to another department within like 3 months of me getting there. And so his plan for me was not necessarily the next person's plan for me.
You.
And so I was stuck down in the support organization as a level 1 tech for about 2 years. And I'm there having regrets. I went through a breakup within my relationship at the time. I'm there wondering, like, did I make the worst mistake of my life? It was a point where the support organization that Datto began to become known for, it wasn't quite there yet. So picture this, right? You have a floor of like 80 techs, right? And we all have like the bullpens. And when the phone rang for support, it wasn't like a round robin system or anything of that nature. Every single phone rang at the same time. And you'd have somebody come around, phones. And you're like, I just put the last 10 phone calls. I'm not picking this one up. You see somebody approaching you, like, hello, hey, how's it going? And it was humbling because I had my college degree at this point. I used to be a big manager, and now I'm here scared I'm gonna get yelled at for not picking up a phone.
With your old employee
With my
yelling,
old
you pick up that phone.
And I know they add a little bit of spice and sauce on it too.
So how long ago was this now? You're there?
So I started working there in May of 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So first off, when support, how many monitors did you have? Because I know that was a big thing at Dago, right? It was based on how many monitors you had at your desk.
The more monitors you had, like you were like the big dog.
Right? I know they showed at DagoCon one year pictures of people's desks, and it was like people with like 15 monitors. Like, what are you doing?
It was so unnecessary. Looking back at it, but at that time, I'm looking at the guy with the 6 monitors, and I'm like, oh man, you're a lucky son of a right? And but at that point, I had just 2 monitors.
Oh, you were really on the low and top.
I was low. I was low.
Well, now, what year at Dago did they do the construction? This is when I would still call, and I remember you used to call support, and you would hear jackhammering in the background as you're talking to support because they were building up the.
Yeah, that was like 2016.
So were you still in support at that point?
There was 2 phases. There was that one right before I joined. I think that might be the one. And then the big one was like 2016.
Yeah, there was a couple different ones, and then we also had at one point, I think it was more like 2016. That's where they opened up the second office in Rochester. And
that was after.
Yeah,
was that after you acquired Backupify?
No, that was that. No, that was a separate.
That was
thing.
separate.
Yeah, that was to allow Datto to leverage all of the people coming out of our RIT. And so they put an office up there. That's where Austin, the founder, CEO,
that's where he went
to
right?
school.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a funnel system into Datto. And it was great. And it was, but they did a lot of construction. And Mike, me and you were there one time for an event.
Yeah.
And they were hammering while we were trying to do like a demo or something like that. And I remember Alan Whitstein saying, "Hey, can somebody just tell him to stop for 15 minutes?"
Yeah. I'm gonna go unplug it. I'm gonna go unplug it. I said, "Alan,
you go tell the construction worker to stop."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but yeah, we the thing is, with us, like we didn't have another office we could just send all that those calls to because it was just US based support for the most part, and so we just had to muscle through it and try to make it as least noticeable as possible. At that point,
I remember those. That was back when I was still involved in tech.
Yeah,
and I would call up, and you call support, and the guy on the other phone would be like, "I'm really sorry. You might use some jackhammer." You're like, what is going on, man?
We were just trying to prove that we were stateside.
We don't offshore this.
So you were in support for 2 years?
For about 2 years. And I just kept trying to find ways to get out, and I'm looking at these people on the higher floors making more money, right? And I'm down here, and I'm making a set amount of money, whether I solve 100 tickets in a month or I solve 300 tickets in a month. It didn't matter. I'm still making the same amount of money, and I was just like, I want more for myself, right? And once again, I took a step back coming into this organization, money wise and such, in order to take a leap forward. And it was like I can't be, for lack of a better way to put it, is stuck here. And I started looking for ways out. One of the things that kept happening was I used to go to the gym before work, and Datto, we had showers, we had a washer, dryer, we had everything that you can go to the gym and still smell good for the day, I guess. That's what I put it.
So you were going to the gym at Dago, not an actual gym.
I was going to gym at Datto. We had like a
you had an actual gym there.
Actual gym. And I used to see this guy every morning, and he was taking a shower as well. But I didn't see him taking a shower. We were both in the locker room at the same time.
Every day.
And we'd always just go back and forth and talk junk, this and the other. I didn't know who this guy was. And I later found out it was Brian Hartman, who was the head of the sales for Datto. And I realized that one day when there was opportunity for us to do like um, a traded experience where we got to go to sales for a day and kind of see how it worked. And he came in and talked, and I'm like, oh shoot. And he said, oh shoot. And within a couple months, there was an opportunity to run the chat for the Data website. So when you go to data.com, there's a chat box that came up.
Pre AI.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think I was a girl though on that chat.
Well, you can't get mad at a
I think
girl.
I was pretty attractive as well. I was like, all right, I'll be her. And,
You're doing heart emojis, little wink emojis.
And so I was doing that for about 6 to 7 months. Actually, one of the biggest deals in the history of Datto at that time came through that chat.
After you sent the photo?
We're not going to get into that, but nonetheless, it was one of the biggest deals. It was like a great thing. But one day, somebody just quit on the SDR team. And they're like,
So
Jason.
explain the SDR team.
So SDR is a sales development rep. So these are the people who will get a lead that comes in from an event or came in through a webinar, and their job is to qualify that lead by calling, seeing what interest they may have, and then setting up a call with a hunter, right? And hunter is the person who is more knowledgeable. They get on the call and they'll do the demo and close the deal. And so all of a sudden now they're in a pinch and they just needed somebody, and they're like, can you do this? So I spent the next 6 months doing that. And boy, oh boy, it taught me everything I needed to know. It was something where accepting no's became like something that was challenging at first, or hearing no's, I should say. I later on was able to accept them. So I'm there calling people and I'm getting hung up on, or I'm getting yelled at. People are saying, stop calling me.
It's a tough job.
I'm trying to get through gatekeepers.
Yeah.
I'm literally driving to work, watching self-help YouTube videos about how to cold call efficiently, effectively. How to ask for a minute and take 10. Like I'm learning every day. I'm looking in the mirror, and it was so hard, but it was something that was so necessary for me. After 6 months or so, I actually started to do pretty well in that role. And then I had the opportunity to join you, Mike, at an event exchange.
San Antonio.
In San Antonio. And, because they just said, hey, we need somebody to go out there and help out. Jay, why don't you go? You are both technical. You were in support for a while. You're also sales-minded. You go out there and hold down the team and help the team out. And, oh, my gosh, I had the time of my life. They had a lazy river. Right, and so it's at this JW hotel. It's on a PGA graded golf course. There's a lazy river that ran through the resort. There was so much good food. I went out there and I said, I want to do this forever. And Mike is like, hey, it's not always like this. Sometimes you're in a middle of a hotel in the middle of
Tennessee.
Iowa. It's not always like this. I said, you're trying to lie to me. No. Don't try to dissuade me now. And so at some point, the business development team needed to get or wanted a sales engineer to be on the team, rather than trying to leverage the sales engineering team to be able to go to different events. And so I interviewed, and I was able to get that position.
Now, you guys knew each other prior to that, though. Or
No,
not really.
No. So we're from the same hometown. Jay's a few years younger than me. And we had a team meeting before we went. So I'm introducing him. And so, he says he's from Norwalk. So I had an immediate bond with him. But then he went to the other high school in town. There's 2 major high schools.
Uh-oh.
He went to the Pretty Boy one, I tell him. And so he went to Brian McMahon. But immediately we just hit it off. Like, and I travel with hundreds of sales reps, engineers, and stuff. But I was always like, right away, Jason was just good. He was good in the booth. He was really good talking to people. I remember we're out to dinner with some big prospects, and the guy's like, "Oh, you guys always say you guys have 24/7 tech support. You're telling me if I called somebody right now?" And Jay looks at me and goes, "One ring. Watch this." And he puts his phone on speakerphone and he calls. And thank God this dude picked up on one ring. I was like, Jay, you really put it out there, dude.
Yeah, you never do a live
Put it up
demo.
on
And that
one ring.
works out well.
And he was like, "Who's this?" He's like, "Hey, it's Jason. I just want to make sure you guys picked up with some partners." Hung up. I was like, "Well, I want this dude on the team." So I immediately went back. And again, I said, like I travel with hundreds of people. And I'm like, Rob, because we had already been talking about that. I'm like, dude, I think we have our guy that could blend like the technical, talk to people. I mean, you want a crash course in any job, work in level 1 tech support, and then go to become a cold caller. That's better than 4 years of college.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a horrible thing, but I mean, I've been a cold caller. I credit a lot of my career to just doing it. My wife always says everybody should work in a restaurant. Like our kids are going to work so you understand how to like treat people. And I'm like, everybody should be a cold caller.
Absolutely.
It helps you in life. As horrible as it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But once again, I would go into my car at the end of the day,
Cry.
and I would just play Candy Crush for 3 rounds. Candy Crush was big back then, and because that's why I had to like decompress.
Right.
Remember, nobody's calling support and saying, "Hey,
We love you guys.
are great, man." You're right? They tell their sales guys that. They don't tell us that they think we're great. And so it wasn't even until I got on the road that people would say how much they loved support. I didn't know.
Right.
Because
in the midst of it, you're not telling the sales guy, the support guy.
Yeah.
It's later on, you say, "Wow, when I did have a problem, I called. I got support. The red team got us back up." You were telling someone else, so you just hang up the phone. You're like, "I did good, but
yeah, absolutely. So I got onto the team, and I guess the biggest challenge I had to work on at that point was public speaking, right? Because now I have to get in front of people and convey a message and be knowledgeable and work on my dictation and all that stuff, and that was hard, but I worked on it. I'd go into we have had a full like auditorium at Datto, and so on the weekends I would literally go in there, and sometimes even with my parents, and just practice.
I remember that auditorium. I've been there for a couple of
And that was one of the things Jay and I, both like family guys. And I remember, he was always talking about how close he was with his parents. And his parents would come in on a Saturday to watch him present just to them. Like
just to
get the feeling of on stage. So that checks off the third box that people don't like. Tech support, cold calling, and then public speaking.
Yeah.
All within 2 years. I mean, talk about a crash course. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a transformed man right now.
I mean, those are the 3 things people fear the most.
I also saw him last year. He was making hats at one of the shows.
Oh yeah.
He's
Listen
good,
here, man. Peaks and valleys.
What was that? The Channel Futures MSP 501. I remember showing up. I'm like, what do they got you doing? You were branding hats.
Listen here, man.
The day before, he's hanging out with Snoop Dogg. Next day, that's like you said, it's peaks and valleys,
What
man.
type of
Strikes and
hat?
gutters.
You got to get in where you fit in sometimes, right? You got to fill the void.
I think that same day, that night, I think we were at that bar where the rat was running back and forth in Miami. We were at a bar. Well, you were there with us for that one, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember. A
No,
rat.
you weren't at the Channel Futures, right? You weren't there. Yeah, we were at some bar. I don't remember how we ended up at this weird bar. There was a pool.
Yeah.
The food. Wasn't it Fabian make us go there? No, he didn't show up.
No, it was another guy from the sales team, Argentinian gentleman. I forgot his name.
Oh, I don't remember his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes, and we went there, and there's literally a rat like underneath our feet, running back around. Well, I'm like, that's not a mouse, that's a rat.
So I'm from Staten Island. I'm the authority on a mouse versus a rat.
That's a rat looking for pizza right now.
That's a piece of rat.
Yes.
So one of the things too, Jason, throughout this whole thing is that you're big time into side hustles back from college. So first, you remember you telling me the story about how you had a job, and how you were really making money on the side in college.
In college, we were throwing parties galore. Like, so we'd rent out like a hall. We'd, print out, 1,000 flyers.
Oh, the old school method.
You were promoting.
You were basically a promoter.
Yeah, just going to different universities, dropping the stuff off. And we'd make like a ton of money. The biggest thing we made money on, though, believe it or not, was bottled water.
Yeah, because you sell at that when people need. You sell $3-4. You're buying it for 50 cents.
Yes, we were buying like a pack of like 48 for like $4, right? This is what 2006 or 2005, and we're selling each bottle for like $5.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but we did that for a couple years. Made great money doing that.
He was giving out free pretzels and
yeah.
peanuts to everybody.
Yeah, to get salty.
Everyone was going in there. Why are they giving us free bags of salt?
Yes.
Yes, so that was like one of the big hustles I had during college, and I've always just hustled, right? In high school,
Airbnbs too.
Yeah, I have Airbnbs now. For the last like 3 years, and that's been good. I just acquired another one last year, and I'm working on getting that one up and running. Hopefully by this summer. I have midterm and long term rental properties that I have as well. During COVID, I got into doing storage units or acquiring storage units at auction.
Okay.
And so, that was probably one of the coolest experiences that I've done, right? And it was just pretty insane. I probably did over 30 different units. And, you have units that were extremely good and extremely profitable, and you had some ones that were just really, really, really bad.
And then you're responsible to get rid of everything.
That's the problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 48 to 72 hours to clear it out. And if not, then you like have to pay like fees and fines and things of that nature. So, if there's ones that we did all the way out in like Brooklyn, and you get there and 90% of the stuff is trash. Now I have to haul all of that stuff back to Connecticut to throw it away in our transfer station.
Are you still doing that?
No, just never enough time.
Yeah.
During COVID, there was so much more like downtime that you can actually.
He was working from home he was at the storage facility.
I was always working. I never did this while I was at work.
It shows you how bad.
You still work for that company. Never mind. We'll strike that from the record.
It shows me how bad of a boss I am.
Was the storage facility, do you know, Stop and Store? Was that one?
No. A lot of the Cube Smarts, we did Westies. We did a bunch of different ones, extra space storage. There was one unit, right, that it went for about $2,000. We walked in, and there was an envelope, and in the envelope there was $2,000.
Beautiful.
Paid for itself. There was also about probably retail value or resale value about $75,000 to $80,000 worth of more stuff. I have Salvatore Dali lithographs. I have Mickey Mantle like autographed pictures. I have baseball cards. There was like $2,000 worth, like $2,000, $2,500 worth of like gold. It was insane. Like we were making money for like I'm still making money off that unit.
Right. But then there's the other ones that.
And then there's other ones where you find expired drug paraphernalia.
Well,
like lots of it. You're like,
that you now have to get rid of.
You're now in possession of.
You're now driving across bridges, federal. You're like, it's not mine, I swear. Here's my receipt. And the storage auctions are crazy because it's like pictures, right? And it's all that what they're showing you is the picture from the outside. Mm-hmm. They're allowed to describe boxes and stuff. So it could say a box of a collectible that you think, oh, maybe that collectible's in there. And then you open up, it's bricks.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Little League trophies and stuff.
Literally, it's a gamble, you know?
It's 100%. You turn into like an investigator. Like, you're like, the way I was doing it was like there were some online auctions, right? So you have the picture, and then you try to maximize the picture, and you're trying to like, maneuver it to say, is that a motorcycle tire or is that like a bicycle tire, right? Because
it's like photo hunt.
Yeah, it's exhilarating, right? Because once again, you just never know. And for the most part, we did pretty well, right? So it was like me and my buddy doing it. But once again, it becomes a lot. The other thing is, now that you have all these different storage units, you find yourself now renting out storage units to house the things that you got from other storage units. Yeah. So it's this horrible cycle of stuff that you just can't get rid of. And so I just kind of took a break from doing the storage units. But I still do things like I thrift a lot. So I go to different like Goodwills and things of that nature, and I pick up items and and maybe to resell it. Last year I had one of the craziest finds ever. It was a sewing machine. I bought brand new, $20, and I sold it for like $1,500 in like a couple of days. It's pretty insane. But to your point, Mike, yes, I have a whole bunch of different side hustles. Because you have to it's hard to just depend on one source of income. You have to diversify. Yeah, you have to.
We teach MSPs diversify, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't have one of your client be more than 20%. Yet in our careers, we're like, no, you just don't make any extra money. Just do that.
Yeah.
I think it makes you better at your role now. So, I mean, for those you don't understand, like the business. So, Jason's one of the public-facing people, and so he's out at events, and a lot of those conversations aren't really product-based. They're about how you grow your business and stuff like that. So, I've always, and I know it because I know a lot of partners that you're close with, like that entrepreneurial spirit that you have, not starting a business, but essentially just having a business going since you were in college.
Absolutely.
I think helps you in those conversations. So, I guess the reason why we started this podcast is really like everybody I mean, now you're in a very prominent position, one of the most well-known people in the whole industry. I mean, did you ever think you would be in this spot where you're at right now?
Absolutely not. I thought I'd be in a spot, not this spot, not being, this person who's sort of, a public figure, this person who's navigating different like relationships, people that are trying to, the person that's trying to bridge somebody on this side, which, has this expectation versus the company, which has this expectation, and making sure they can meet in the middle, like being that liaison. Like, I didn't think I would be doing this. I went to school. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but I went to school for computer science, and I switched majors after the first semester.
When did you graduate?
2006.
Okay.
Yes. Like, growing up, like everybody thought I was smart because I built a computer once. And then they're like, oh my God, like my son is like the smartest. And I'm like, everything just fits where it's supposed to fit. I didn't tell him that because I wanted to think that I was smart. And, went to, school for computer science. And within the first 6 months, I realized that there was no girls in my class. And I said, I can't do this for 4 years.
I'm in college.
Yeah, I'm in college. Right? Everybody's talking about how much fun they're having in their class and this girl and that. And I'm there like, it's just like, me and the boys.
You're like, I'm out. I'm going to communications.
Yeah, exactly. Advertising.
So one of the questions I think I want to start asking people on this podcast is, like, I want you to think of 2 points in your life. When you were a kid, what did you want to be? And when you were in college, what did you want to be? And did either of them end up where you are now?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an inventor. I didn't know an inventor of what, but I would take toys apart and try to put them back together in different ways, and nothing ever worked. But that was my thought process. I'm going to be an inventor. And then when I got to college, I wanted to be like marketing, but advertising and branding. But at that point, I just thought it was marketing. Like, I thought marketing was that. And so I didn't really kind of realize that until like later on into the major. And I took all the wrong classes that didn't really kind of push me into that direction, So, yes, I think I'm kind of doing, in a weird way, I am kind of doing it, I guess, now, right? With branding, advertising from the inventor side, not really, but in terms of understanding the technology and being able to speak to it, and, allow people to understand how things work. I think in a weird way, yes, I guess I am kind of doing both of those things.
Yeah. And I'm curious as we do more of these, are we ever going to find anyone that when they were a kid is doing what they thought they would do?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I don't know anybody. That's what's so interesting. That was like the reason why we started this. It's like for you to now, like, you're 40 or whatever you are. Now you're a guy who's presenting in front of 2,000 people on a main stage and handling these relationships. College-wise, I know, like, I would have never thought I am where I am. And I think most people, it's not like, oh, I'm going to go into the MSP sales side of things when, when you're 21 years old. But now you're here and you're elevated to somebody who's very well known. Like I said in the channel, very valuable to Kaseya. So, I knew you'd have a great story. And, I think that, like I said, that entrepreneurial spirit, like you were going to be successful somewhere, whether it was owning a business, whether it was, but you look at what you did in a matter of a year, level 1 tech support, cold calling, into public speaking. That is, when you look at people's like biggest fears, those are like 3 of them.
Right. And it's funny because on the both episodes we've recorded so far, they both had that. Right?
Yeah.
The cold call.
That was exactly
you
right.
know,
Yeah.
Sales, being able to, have to public speak. And I think that's one of the things we will find most, especially with business owners and high up executives. Public speaking is something we all hate, but something we all need to do.
Yeah. 100%. It's one of those skill sets that are separated. It's like a dying breed because a lot of the young people don't.
Just imagine them naked. Right? Wasn't that what you were supposed to do back in the day?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Not when you're talking to the tech industry, Mike. I don't know if you've seen the audiences in these crowds.
I think that what helped me is just realizing that we're all just people. We're all the same, and not putting anybody on a pedestal or
Right.
me thinking that they're smarter or wiser than me. And once I kind of like realized that, I'm like, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
Jason,
you.
really appreciate this, man. I know it's bigger and better things for you in the future. Keep doing what you're doing. This is another episode of Unheard Journeys. Thank you for listening. Mike.
Thank you. Like and subscribe. We don't know where it's going to be yet, so we're just going to point all around.